eyes open, just aware of your surroundings. Even just noticing if you have an open window, noticing the objects in the room. With maybe one moment closing your eyes, feeling your breath, the way the breath moves into the body, where it travels in the body. Noticing if the breath is high and forward, down and low, front, back. Good, and let's just either eyes open or eyes closed, one hand on belly, one hand on chest. This 3-part, right? Belly, chest, head. And today we'll make a little round shape with the mouth, and almost like you're drawing the breath in, as if your mouth were a straw. Right? So it's more of a 3 breaths, right? Lower, middle, upper. Exhale, easy exhale. Not needing to press the breath out, just the natural exhale. Inhale, belly, chest, head. And exhale. Belly area, chest, head. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling the movement, belly, chest, head is different, more subtle. And exhale. Slight pause at that bottom of the exhale. And then an inhale. Slight pause at the top of the inhale. And exhale. Again, just noticing what shifted with that breath. And let's do it again. We'll do 7. So if you get woozy or if it doesn't feel right to do 7, you can just shorten it. Okay. Inhale, lower, middle, upper. Exhale. Inhale. 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 This is the last exhale. Pausing just for a moment, just suspending the breath. There might be some breath moving in or out, just more of a stillness around it. And then inhale fully. Full breath, lower, middle, upper. Pause, suspend the breath in, softening the container of the body, and exhale. And again, just noticing. Noticing your breath and anything else in your body and your mind, your thoughts. Palms together in front of your heart. that same sense of awareness around you, awareness within you. Specifics, right? Objects, breath, heartbeat. And then maybe even a sense of nourishment, either welling up from within you or surrounding you, moving towards you. What feels nourishing? Color of the light, sound of the birds, the breath, internal image. And let's, with that on, a little vibration through the body. And an intention or an offering, maybe with that exhale, the sound of the exhale and the om. Inhaling. Om. Okay, so I'm just going to put my hands behind me, knees up, feet on the floor. Actually, I'm going to take feet together, knees apart, just to feel. Again, I'm leaning back on my arms. Good, and then lifting the knees up, take the feet wide, let the knees drop together. Good. And then feet more parallel, a little wider, right? Even wider than shoulders, and letting knees tip right. Good, right knee stays where it is. And I'm just gonna let that left knee lift. Right, so the right thigh is trying to stay on the floor, right? Because as I lift the left knee, the right leg wants to follow. And then lower that left knee. And then lift. Maybe even stepping up onto the foot, depends on the flexibility in the inner leg. And then back down on inner foot, inner knee, inner thigh towards the floor and up. Good, right leg holding its focus on the floor. And left knee down, one more. And open, right knees moving away from each other. And left knee down. Knees up and over to the other side, just dropping them to the left. So left thigh might not be all the way on the floor, but it's moving towards the floor. And then right knee up. And knees are moving, inner knees moving away from each other. Even the length of the femurs moving away from each other. And down. And up. And down. Last time, up. The left leg wants to follow so badly. And right leg down. Good, knees up again, and knees drop to the right. I'm just gonna come up and sit. Good, and just a little, so left arm, actually, left arm's gonna drop back for a moment. Letting the pelvis drop back and the ribs drop back. And then I'm going to push off that right hand, take that left arm, swing it around the front of the body and reach across around to the back of the room. And then left arm comes back again, dropping the back of the pelvis back, the ribs back, front ribs back. And then again, keeping the front ribs somewhat down. Right, rather than moving the ribs forward, right? So there's still that sense of length through the back body, as if this twist comes from the back body. One more time, left hand down, dropping back. Again, feeling that length from tailbone to the base of the skull. And keep that as you come up and twist. Good. Then I'm just going to let myself come forward. So as much as I drop back, I'm going to follow that same diagonal forward. So I'm moving towards the right foot. Feeling a little weight in the outer edge of the right foot. You can even flex the foot. And come up to neutral. And one more time, just fold, letting the pelvis fold over the legs. And it may not be a big movement, and come up. And one more time, fold. And up. Knees up, hands behind you, right? Shift the weight back to the hands, knees up and over to the other side. Again, I'm going to drop my weight back. Right, as I drop back, I'm feeling it more in the leg that's out to the side, right? I'm challenging that internal rotation. Keeping that length through the back body as I swing the right arm around to the left. Right, the back body turning, or those back ribs widening as they turn to the right. And then arms back, again, draw back, arms can bend, back of the pelvis drops back, ribs drop back. And up and rotating to the left. And back, dropping back. Good, last time. Twisting around to the left. And then coming back to more neutral. So, right, I leaned back at a diagonal. I'm going to go forward at a diagonal towards the left foot. Again, so rather than rounding, I'm going to try to let the front of the pelvis fall, the spine follow. And again, it might not be far. And that's okay. Maybe flex that left foot. Just feel the outer edge of the foot, press into the floor and up. Again, pelvis tipping forward. So feel the sitting bones pull back and almost lift. Like you're sticking your butt back a little bit. And up. And one more. Good. And up. Okay, both knees. Drop the hands back, both knees up. So I'm going to keep the feet wide and let the knees open. And lift and knees together. Knees up and open and up and together. Last time, up and open, up and together. Okay, stretch the legs forward. Okay, so we'll do a couple of these. Knees together, feet together. Hopefully this feels easier to hold. So you can have depending on your ability to sit upright. Right, so if your feet need to be further forward so that you can sit without like gripping your back and your inner thighs, then slide the feet forward. If you can sneak the feet in a little bit, do so. I'm going to take right hand outside the hip and down to the floor, bending that arm. So as I tip to the right, I'm going to let that left hip hang towards the floor, left arm up and over. Good, long through, right? That left shoulder blade and arm hanging away from that left hip. And then up and over to the other side. So left hand down, left arm can bend just to tip you more to the left. The right hip is hanging to the floor, right arm overhead. And so ideally, we want to feel it from armpit, lower back, outer thigh, outer waist. And up. Good. right. And you can even bend that left arm if it feels good, bringing the hand behind the head, reaching the elbow away from the hip. The right ribs are tipping towards the right hip. Maybe extend that arm again. Maybe look up under the arm and come up. Other side. Flip it over. Bend the arm. Reach the elbow and hip away from each other. Re-extend. Looking up under that arm, little rotation. And come up one more time to the right. Left arm up and over. This time I'm turning towards the floor, breastbone towards that right thigh. And then more neutral. Looking forward again. And up, other side again. So my left elbow is coming to the floor now, so that may or may not be you. You can put a block or a blanket if you want that to weight that arm down. Good. Turning towards the floor, right? So now you feel it different, right? More towards back, side back body. Hip, thigh, shin even falling towards the floor. And then rotating back towards the front of the room. And back. Yay. Okay, I'm going to extend one of these legs. Good. So I'm going to turn my body towards, right, so belly button towards the straight leg. So as I do so, letting that bent leg almost press into the floor, right? So the back hip, the bent leg hip, pressing down to turn towards the straight leg. And then swinging around, and let's turn towards the bent leg. And for now, we'll keep the straight leg hip on the floor. Turn towards the straight leg. Right, feeling that length through both legs, even the bent leg, especially the bent leg. Turning towards the bent leg. Feeling that reach through the straight leg. I'm thinking of the back leg as an anchor. Good, one more time, towards the straight leg. And towards the bent leg. Good, nice and easy. Bend the straight leg and switch. Feels good. Okay, turning towards the straight leg. So both sitting bones on the floor, back, the bent leg, heavy and pressing down. So top of foot, front of shin, thigh, sitting bone. And then turning towards the bent leg. Sitting bone, back of thigh, calf, heel, heavy. And turn towards the straight leg. Like the arms are really helping you stay more upright. And turn towards the bent leg. Good, long through the sides of the body. Good, and straight leg last time. And bent leg. Good, and both knees bent, feet together. Hopefully it gets a little easier. Straighten the right leg. For the one that you started with. Okay, so now we're just gonna play with simple. I'm gonna lean back onto my hands again. Point the right toes, straight leg toes, lift the leg up. So I'm pressing into the bent leg to help me lift that right leg up, straight up in front of me. And then across to the left. Bend it, right foot on the floor. And I'm just going to shift my weight back onto my hips. So hand coming, right hand to the inside of the right foot, turning to the back of the room or to the left. So my right hip is somewhat heavy. And then come back to center, untwist, left hand on the outside of the right knee, turning, right belly moves across the bent leg. Release and twist to the back of the room. And release and twist across the bent leg. Using that left hand to maybe draw the knee closer, right knee to the left breast. You get a little bit of engagement in that outer hip. And again, turning, right hip stays heavy as I turn to the left. Long waist, long spine, long neck. And last time. Turning towards the back of the room, across the belly, across the thigh. Okay, and so now I'm just gonna play with coming down onto my forearm. So I'm inside the standing foot, forearms on the floor. Okay, so then I'm gonna play with just a little bit of cat-cow with my upper body. So I'm gonna spread the shoulder blades apart, letting the back round, letting the tailbone tuck and the head tip forward as the forearms press down. And then the opposite, I'm gonna press the forearms down, pull them towards the body, draw the shoulder blades in, breastbone forward. And then do a couple where it's a little less organized. You're just moving and seeing what's moving. What's moving less? What's moving more? We're in a little bit of a confined position, so see what can move. And come back to neutral. Let's take that right arm up to the ceiling. So left forearm stays on the floor. Reach up, look up, follow with the eyes. Good, now I'm gonna take that right arm away from the right hip. So the right hip is gonna start to pull towards the floor as the right arm moves away, overhead, right arm, upper arm alongside the ear. Good, rounding now. So I'm turning towards the floor, rounding, rotating, coming back onto my forearms. Good, hands press into the floor. Good, hands come behind. Gonna kick out to the left, up through the center, out to the right, and come back to where I started. Feet together. Let's do the other side. Okay, so straightening left leg. And hands behind. Again, so I'm going to anchor the bent leg to lift the straight leg. This is hard. And then lift it straight up through the center. Again, if it doesn't lift very far off the ground, that's fine. And across to the right. And bend it, left foot flat on the floor. And coming up to sit. So left sitting bone now comes towards the floor. Okay, turning, left hand inside the left foot, turn to the back of the room. Unturn, right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. This to help you lengthen the knee towards the breast and turn. And again, opposite direction towards the back of the room. Right, I'm turning around these legs. Come forward, twist across the bent leg. Again, turn towards the back of the room. And around, drawing that bent knee in towards the breast, lengthening and turning. And then coming to neutral. So again, I'm going to bring my forearms to the floor inside that standing leg foot. Even that is a challenge, right? So then as I round the back, right, spreading the shoulder blades, lifting the spine, rounding the back, dropping the tailbone. May not be the biggest movement, Again, I'm really trying to just move around the pelvis. Rounding, moving through to a back bend, extension, flexion, and extension. Right, I'm in a rotation, and then flexing and extending, using your breath. Coming to neutral. Let's take that left arm up to the ceiling. Good. As that left arm comes closer to the ear, the left hip comes towards the floor. You can use that right forearm, press into that forearm, pushing down and away to send that left hip towards the ground. Good. And then start to round again, rotating towards the floor. And then walk your hands back under your shoulders. Come up to sit. Drop back onto your hands. Good. Kick that left leg out to the right, and then up to the ceiling, as high up as you can, out to the left, and down. Was it easier the second time? And feet together, knees apart. Okay. All right, just for a few minutes here. And turning towards one leg, let's turning towards the right or the left. Good, hands are supporting you just to stay upright. So the legs, the tightness of the legs doesn't dominate the pose. Turn to the other side. Again, the leg you're turning away from gets heavier on the floor, from the hip to the heel. And again, turning right, left leg gets heavy, left sitting bone, left thigh, left calf, left heel, and turning left. Okay, so from this left turn, I'm going to keep turning left, but I'm going to lean. So my right hand is going to stay reaching left, but my left arm is going to come up and over to the right leg. And coming up. And change. Left arm slides over to the right side. Right arm up and over. Reaching through both arms. And up. Right hand reaching to the left. Left arm reaching right. And up. And other side. And up. Yay. Good, feet together. Okay, let's come on to hands and knees. Take off my fluffy sweater. Okay, hands and knees. All right, so right leg back, toes under. Good, and I'm just going to play with shifting my weight forward and back, right? So I'm pushing, right? I'm rolling across the ball of the foot towards the webbing of the toes, towards the pads of the toes, and then pulling back towards the back of the ball of the foot. So I'm reaching that heel back, getting that stretch through the lower leg. And just shifting back and forth. You can even notice where you land on your foot. You can play with having a little more weight on the big toe side of the foot as you do that, getting into the inner calf. And then maybe a little on the little toe side of the foot, getting into that outer calf. Good, and switch sides. Let's turn the hands out to the side. So fingers pointing right and left. Spreading hands, the whole surface of the hand on the floor. Engaged with the floor, left toes back. Same thing, right? Pulling back and then letting the ball of the foot push you forward to the toe pads and then pull back. right? Whole body's working, arms, feet, and everything in between. Again, notice where you land in your foot and back of leg. Maybe favor the inner foot for a few bounces. And then little toe side of the foot. Good, and let's switch again. Fingers to face forward again, right toes turned under. So this time I'm gonna pull back, I'm gonna make a circle, pull back, and then I'm gonna roll towards the big toe side of the foot. So as I shift my weight forward, I'm gonna roll onto the top of the foot. And I roll across the top of the foot, and as I shift back, right, I'm rolling across the little toe side of the foot, and I end up on the ball of the foot. And so I'm just rolling around the ball of the foot, shifting forward and shifting back. Rolling across outer edge of the big toe onto the top of the foot, outer edge of the little toe onto the ball of the foot. And then change direction. I'm just kind of mushing the ball of the foot and toes into the floor. Good. And let's change sides. So fingers out to the side of the room again. Left toes back. Again, as I shift, right, shift back, and as I shift forward, I'm going externally rotating the leg, edge of the big toe side of the foot, rolling onto the top of the foot. And as I shift back, rolling across outer edge of the little toe onto the ball of the foot. Right, getting movement in the toes and the ankle, in the hip, right, legs internally and externally rotating. Ankle, getting lots of movement. Toes, change direction. Smushing, gentle smushing. Spreading the toes. And then knees together. So let's actually take toes together, knees apart. Just walk the hands forward. Crawl the hands forward, maybe even lift the ball of the hand, heel of the hand off the floor. So you're just on your finger pads, little spiders. Good, arms nice and long. Good, and shift forward again, come up onto hands and knees. Good, and I like this one. So I'm just gonna curl the left toes under, straighten the right leg, curl the right toes under. Okay, again, shifting back a little bit. So I'm pressing into both feet as I do this, right? Especially shifting back, push off the ball of the left foot to shift forward. Shift back, maybe push into the ball of both feet. Just trying to prep that left foot. And then I'm going to play with pressing into the ball of the left foot and picking up that right leg. Good. Keep pressing into the ball of the left foot. Keep pressing into the ball of the left foot. And right knee down. Good. Again, press into the ball of the right foot, extend that left leg. Just shift forward and back a little bit, just prepping that right foot. Good, and then pressing into the ball of the right foot, lift that left leg. Again, use the feet to support the legs, to support the hips. One more breath here. And then both knees down. Keep the toes under, push the hips back. Okay, let's play with walking the hands in. And maybe come up to sit. Yeah, do the best you can. Good, and shift forward. Uncurl and sit back. Good, and shift forward. Curl the toes under. Good. Good. If you can, just interlace the fingers in front of you. Good. Turn the palms to face forward. And as you press the palms forward, pull the shoulder blades in towards the spine, behind the body. Good. Maybe bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Good. Pressing the palms up, spreading the hands up, spreading the fingers wide, even though the thumbs and little fingers are together. And then hands down, reach forward, toes under, and sit back. Okay. Last silly thing, I'm just going to come on to again, toes under, right leg back. So I'm going to play again, pressing into the ball of the left foot, right leg up. And then I'm going to press into the ball of the left foot and pick the left knee up off the floor, just an inch. And then pull the hips up and back. And try to pull the legs back. So I end up straightening that left leg. Maybe it can be bent, that's totally fine. But I'm pulling the hips back in space. And then shift forward. Bring that left knee down. Bring that right knee down. Okay, other side. Left toes turned under, left leg is straight, right toes are turned under, right knee bent. So I'm again pressing into the ball of the right foot, lift that left leg. And then pressing into the ball of the right foot, lift the right foot off the floor, just an inch. And then press into the foot, but pull the hips back and up. Maybe the leg straightens, maybe the knees bent, doesn't matter, just keep moving the hips back. Good, and then slowly down. Good, both toes turned under. Let's move the hips up and back. Downward dog. Again, knees can be bent. Just keep moving the hands down and almost forward, as if you could push the sticky mat down into the floor and forward. And then think about moving the ribs towards the hips and the hips to the wall behind, or to that seam between wall and ceiling. And then let's play with, so both my knees are bent. I'm just going to straighten one leg, right leg. Sending the heel back, sending the hip back. And then bend the right leg straight and the left leg. Feel what the hands are doing, the neck, the jaw, the left hip back and up, the left heel back. And switch. Both hands anchoring. Bend both legs, straighten the left leg. Maybe straighten both legs. And both knees down, knees wide, toes together. Walk the hands forward, child's pose. Good, hands under shoulders. Round yourself, right? Let your tailbone drop, let your back round, your head stay an observer until you roll it up. Yay. Okay. Okay, so toes under again. This time I'm just going to walk the hands by the feet and push up onto my feet. I'm going to keep my knees bent. Let my ribs rest on my thighs, let my head hang. Right, having the head below the heart and the heart below all the abdominal organs. Just changing, shifting the orientation of the body organizes. Just asking for a little adaptability. Again, I'm going to straighten one leg. One knee's bent, one leg is moving towards straight, doesn't have to be straight. And bend. Again, one leg straight, other knee bent. Moving towards straight. And bend both knees. One leg straight again. First leg. Moving towards straight. Notice again where you land on your foot. Maybe roll a little towards the inner foot. Notice what happens. Roll towards the outer foot. I tend to favor this outer foot, so I'm noticing the inner foot. Like the weight there creates a lot of tightness in the back of the leg. And then switch, bend both knees and other leg straight. Or towards straight. Again, just rolling. Inner foot and outer foot. Right, tends to do a little internal rotation and external rotation. Sometimes it helps us see what we favor in each leg. Good. And center, bend both knees last time, just straightening both legs. Good. And then walking, hands forward, feet back, downward facing dog again. And neck long, so my head likes to push towards the floor. So I'm going to play with lengthening the crown of the head towards the hands. Notice where your head is. Can you bring your head in line with the rest of your spine? Bend the knees if you need to. If you're rounding a bit, bend the knees. You can't tell, just breathe. Listen. Good, both knees to the floor. Good, this time knees somewhat together. They don't have to be all the way together. Child's pose, so your ribs are on your thighs. And we're going to bring the arms then around the side of the body. So my hands are close to my feet and my arms are just falling towards the floor. So back is wide and rounded. Softening the throat and the back of the neck, the jaw, the face. Good, last breath here. And then bring hands under shoulders and round yourself up to sit. Okay, so I'm going to grab a chair. You can slide towards the edge of your bed and lay on your back with your feet up on the bed. I'll be right back, or couch. Okay. And let's actually grab a blanket. Grab a blanket as well. Just have that handy. Good, so feet on the edge of chair, bed, couch. Arms alongside the body and palms down. And just spreading the hands into the floor, letting the upper arms sink into the floor, even let the shoulder blades press back into the floor, press into your feet. Again, little posterior tilt as you press the feet down. As I'm curling the tailbone to the backs of the knees and slowly scooping myself up, slowly rolling the spine up. And shoulder blades and arms stay down. And then slowly lower down. Roll the spine down, one vertebra at a time, one segment at a time. Breathe. It's a little more work in the legs to go slow. Again, coming down in that posterior tilt so you get lower ribs, lower back, top of sacrum. Good. Maybe then you feel the roll towards the anterior tilt when you get close, when the tailbone gets closer to the floor. And then let's do it again. Curling the tailbone up towards the backs of the knees, posterior tilt. So you feel the whole lower back press into the floor as you roll it up. Lower ribs, middle ribs, maybe even up into the upper ribs. And letting the neck bend as the spine lifts. And then again, slowly, slowly lower the spine down. Again, my legs are doing most of the work in that department. Managing that lowering of the hips. Lower ribs, lower spine. Top of sacrum. Rolling down the length of the sacrum towards the tailbone. Let's do one more. Again, from that anterior tilt, posterior tilt. So you feel yourself roll back up the length of the sacrum, lower back. Weight it as you roll up it. Peel it off the floor. Knees lift as the feet press. Shoulder blades settle back, throat softens. Feel that flexion in the neck, let it be easy. Pause for one breath or two, keeping that posterior tilt, keeping the weight in the feet. Even that sense of reaching the knees past the toes. And then slowly roll the spine down. Segment by segment. Like noticing the parts that have an easier time with individuating. Sometimes parts of the spine move together. I'm trying to uncouple them a little. Just a little. Okay. And then let's take that blanket and just slide it under your pelvis and let your legs rest on whatever surface they're on. And hands can be on body, away from body, palms down, palms up. Ideally, your legs are supported at the heel and behind the knee. Right, feeling your body soften back. Soften back. Feeling your right leg soften back into the support at the hip and the lower leg. Feeling that left leg soften back down into the support under the lower leg and hip. Feeling both legs settle, soften back, sink. Feeling the back of the pelvis, right hip, left hip, lower belly, and base of pelvis, perineum, pubic area, tailbone, anus, genitals, sitting bones. Feeling the belly or the content inside the pelvis, all the organs, buoyant with the breath. We're moving with the breath. Feeling the breath soften. Anything that would like to soften. Right arm from the hand to the shoulder, the left arm from the hand to the shoulder. Sinking, settling back, both shoulder blades. Right shoulder blades sinking back into the floor, all those muscles around, underneath, between shoulder blade and ribs. All the muscles that move the shoulder blade up, down, side, side. Right side, left shoulder blade, same thing. Back of shoulder blade, between shoulder blade and ribs. Moving the shoulder blade in all directions, and all of that tissue soften. Feeling the movement of the diaphragm. Movement of the breath. Movement of the ribs. All with the breath. Throat, neck, chest, tops of shoulders, back of head, face, mouth, lips, jaw, teeth, nose, eyes, brow, the orb of the eye, lid, the socket of the eye, cheeks, tongue, throat, softening, settling, quietening. Slowly and gently wiggling fingers and toes. Moving arms and legs. Bending your knees. Very gently roll to your side. Go slow. Go slow. See if you can slow your mind down by moving so slowly in your body and tethering to your mind or your awareness to your body movement. And slowly come up. Find your seat. Just aware of the skin of the body, the whole outer, the, the pores of the skin as they relate to your outside environment. And even the internal skin turning in towards the other layers. Fascial layers. Aware of the rhythm of your breath, maybe even your heartbeat. Maybe. And you're aware of that relationship, your body, all the proprioceptors in your body relating to your outside environment and to your internal environment. A very highly sensitized system. Highly attuned. Just the awareness of that. How many systems within our system this kind of information in and response. Comes together in front of your heart. With your inhale, let's on with the exhale. Namaste.